Hello, hello, and welcome back to Minotaur Hotel. We're hanging out with Kota in the lounge, a good boy. Kota, tonight it is Kota who hosts the the Hearthside Circle. He gifts his audience with tales of the about the Minotaur's hospitality and the hotel's traditions. The guests he entertains are a peculiar bunch, but they remain enraptured by his words all the same. A pair of brothers, arms covered in burns and whip marks, who were running from something closer to a butcher shop than a home. A malnourished woman in her late 20s, with dull, sunken eyes and her hair cut shorter than any boy's, whose hands shake with the sharp pangs of withdrawal. A silver-haired man in his 40s pulled in during a desperate escape made necessary by writing about issues many would prefer remain unpublished. And a mother nursing a baby who refuses to say a word about her past. All of them, every one of these outcasts, listen to the dragon's good news about the hotel's mission, and they feast. As they feast, yes. That's cute. Time often flows in circles, and just a century ago, this same scene played out. A preacher singing praises about the hotel to guests dreaming of a permanent home. Much like tonight, their throats had twisted into knots, and their chest had constricted. The grace they felt was so great, it became unforgivable. Back then, they were given a future. But it was taken again by Clement and his madness, and all who pledged to accomplish the hotel's mission were lost. That won't happen again, however. Tonight, when they look at you and Asterion, masters of this land, there is dew in their eyes and a vow of silence upon their lips. Not a single word is needed. These sailors seen the captain. Sailors see the captains of the ship. In the lounge, the guests slouch in their seats. The sounds of cutlery and laughter fill the room. There are no glances towards your partner. Although some guests have taken to greeting you and Asterion with a warmth and a it kindles the heart's flame. This is the hotel's new normal. Tonight, Asterion makes firm brushstrokes on his tablet. Okay. He's learning, guys. He's learning. His eyes pore over the screen, searching away only when he cannot contain a giggle. That's fine. You let him enjoy his moment. However, it is you let him enjoy the moment. However, it is he is doing. Okay. Meanwhile, you entertain yourself with watching the crowd. The kobolds are huddled together in a corner of the lounge, watching as Luke takes meals to the guests. When one of them catches you looking their way, he jumps back and frightens the others. They scurry out of the lounge, but only for a brief while. Not 10 minutes later, however, the timid vagabond returns, and this time, they're there to stay. Okay. You look away and leave them be. But as the night progresses, you catch them approaching the counter. They pick on Luke. They pick on Luke taking meals to the guests, and like children imitating an esteemed adult, do the same. Napkins, salt shakers, cutlery, even candy from the bowl behind the bar counter is snatched up and handed out with artless intensity to the guests. The chubby one approaches a couple with a pair of spoons and gives them a pouting frown until they make their best attempt at eating their main course with the pro-offered utensil. The darker kobold makes sure everyone has a clean napkin, while a lighter one struggles with the notion that coffee-flavored candy, that heaven-sent blessing bestowed upon only upon the most worthy, is an inadequate appetizer. Bruh, I just don't like coffee. I'll like, you know, like, I don't know. I'm not like a coffee person. I'm not a tea person. I'm barely a water. I'm barely a person. Like, I'm barely a wanting to keep alive person. Like, I'll just dehydrate myself to death. Like, whatever. I don't need that. Whatever. In due time, you too are graced with a spoon and expected to use it, despite not yet having a meal. As much as you... Right, ow. As much as your sitting position will allow, you bow down at the kind server, which is met with an austere nod from the lizard. You do note, however, that the kobold was holding the spoon by the wrong end, and there's no telling when he last washed his hands. You pretend to stir your water with it. He cannot uncover your charade. He's too short to see what's happening on the table. Thank you. That's very kind of you. The little lizard pouts up his chest, as though he could swallow your words and grow fat on praise alone. What an enthusiastic little fellow. Recognition, nay, honor, shall be his. May I ask your name? He recoils and cowers before looking inward, to the core of his soul, for the strength to face your inquiry. He takes a step forward and makes the truth of his being known to thee. Gruggy. Gruggy. Now that's quite a name. Oh, words. Gruggy beams at your stream of compliments. What a pleasure it is to have one's talents recognized. Does this matter? Now, if you would be so kind, could you tell me your friends' names? They're Zeppito and Nono. They're my brothers. I see. All of you do share the same fierce look. There's no doubt about it. Mighty blood flows in your lineage. Wouldn't you say, Asterion? The Minotaur is too focused on the internet's unfathomable wisdom to respond. Oh no. Is Asterion gonna become a Zoomer? Well, as you may have guessed, my buddy is called Asterion, and I'm Mr. Josh. It's nice to make your acquaintance, Gruggy. Allow me to show you a magic trick, as a reward for your efforts. You cup your hands together and hum the song Asterion taught you. The hotel groans ever so slightly as you issue your commands. Let your hands overflow with wealth. Your sorcery is too great for the little lizard's mind. He shields his eyes from your grace and cowers. When the lights return, your hands are filled with riches. 7 opals, 6 rubies, 5 chunks of lapis lazuli. I hate that girl. She, like, got cards banned in Yu-Gi-Oh! Fuck you. Man, like, I'm still upset that, like, such an interesting playstyle, like Gem Knights, because of Lapis, like, turned into just, like, a FTK nonsense and got... I mean, it didn't get Brilliant Fusion limited, but, like, I blame her still. Like, obviously it was Thunder Dragons that got, like, Brilliant Fusion limited, but It be what it is. 3 emeralds, 2 jade stones, and 1 diamond, all on the bed of lesser metals. So it is true then, sorcerers do exist, and their kind souls appreciate the servitude of even a lowly kobold. Gruggy is now witness to the Minotaur's mystery. He swipes away the worthless crystals and pockets instead the true treasure, the copper, iron, bronze, and forever valuable pyrite. Okay, and then he runs off, leaving behind only the pitter-patter of his grubby feet and the pile of gemstones in his hands. Oh well. You hum and summon a glass cup where you can put the crystals. It will make a nice decoration for this table.
By the 12, you have grown quite familiar with your power and duties.
You taught me well.
Only the powers. The duty of the hotel's mission. Those you have cultivated yourself.
What can I say? I enjoy it. Giving a home to those who are lost. It is worthwhile. It is a worthwhile goal. You, of course, are chief among them. By this armband and my honor, I'll make sure no villain will bring harm to my partner. The Minotaur takes one of the crystals, a lapis lazuli, and examines its surface.
Such a honey tongue. You are only saying this to bring my guard down. As soon as you have the chance, you will strike.
But as we discussed, I don't have it in me to do so. Besides, what could I stand to gain? Don't I have enough precious gems as it is?
Then it must be knowledge. It must be knowledge you seek. You'll demand that I deliver onto you all the secrets of the gods.
If only. I'm afraid I have little interest in the meddling with the Olympians. I've had more than enough already.
Are you sure? Are there no questions stuck in your throat? Perhaps about, let us say, life after death?
You do have a point. It's only human to be curious, especially about that.
Indeed. Well, what I can say, the realm of Hades.
Wait, you're just going to give out your divine secrets just like that? Wasn't I supposed to gain your trust and bring your guard down first?
Perhaps you already have.
At long last, my honey tongue brings my blessings. By all means, proceed.
The realm of Hades are quite enjoyable, my lord. Forgive me, Mr. Josh. Is it just that, thinking back to Hades, gives my chest a faint ache? I cannot help but speak with all of my reverence. The Christians must think of Hades like a hell of fire and brimstone, but that is not the case, at least not as far as I witnessed, in what little I saw of it. The heroic and righteous were granted a place in the Elysian fields, an island where they can enjoy an existence without toil and blessed with all sorts of graces. Most mortals were sent to the
Asphodel
meadows, as was I, seeing as I had little to no heroic qualities. There we exist in much the same way as we lived, although I took the chance to reinvent myself. I spent no more than 3 years in Hades. In that little time, however, I climbed all the way from border patrol to serving under Lord Hades and Lady Persephone in the Royal Guard. Lord Hades would often call me to his service as a sparring partner. We had many sporting fights. That's how I learned of the chthonic fighting style. He was a sober god, a soft-spoken man, tasked with a heavy burden. But he was never unfair or unkind, as he led by example first and foremost. The living had no liking for him, but among the dead he was a cherished monarch. And Lady Persephone and the underworld's joy was worshipped for all the gifts she provided to the living.
I see. Were you ever treated differently from being a Minotaur?
The answer to that question may surprise you, my lord. Sorry, Mr. Josh. For a moment there, I felt so young. In any case, to answer your question, Lord Hades held quite a liking towards some of my ancestors. Some would even joke that he favored me because of my bullish features. I cannot know if he ever did it in truth, but regardless, I enjoyed my time in his service.
I see. That's not how most people... Okay. I see. That's not how most people would imagine Hades being like. Oh. Love those guys.
Any new experience can seem quite frightful and daunting. For the living, death is the newest and most unknown. It makes sense to fear it, even if it is not so much to fear.
That's true, I suppose. It's comforting, in a way, knowing what the great beyond will be like.
I am not sure that it will be the same experience for you, Mr. Josh. I was told that different people go to different realms, depending on who they worship in life.
Huh. And what happens to those who are, agnostic or atheist?
I do not know. The specifics weren't ever laid out in full to me. Or anyone I knew. It was not exactly relevant to us.
I see. Well, that's already a lot more than I ever expected to know about any art afterlife. I'm glad you shared that with me. You're quite talkative tonight.
Am I? I was reminiscing just now while reading, which must have loosened my tongue a little. Would you believe I found a number of old texts in ancient Greek? These new languages are tricky for me. Meanwhile, reading ancient Greek is quite comforting. Speaking with such strict word order must be exhaustingly boring, but perhaps you are used to them. I could not find anything in Minoan. However, it is a pity.
As far as I know, the Minoan language was lost ages ago. It would be extremely difficult to find any surviving text or anyone who would know how to read it in the first place.
But I am here. I still remember it. Master, Mr. Josh, please sate my curiosity. The internet allows for things to be sent, correct? Is there a way for me to send my language?
I'm afraid that's not really how it works. We don't have translation magic outside. We can't just send a whole language over. But if you still remember it well, you could try writing it down. Grammar, syntax, vocabulary. Tell others how to read it. I'm sure we could get it out there later. There's a lot of people who would be grateful to have the Minoan language decoded. The Minotaur looks down to the table and flicks his ears. The screen shows a growing library of ebooks.
That would be quite enjoyable. Long has it been since I have given much thought to my native tongue. I could even try to recall my old poems. I wrote a few of them in Minoan.
You wrote poetry?
I used to. A bit here and there over the centuries. As the muses inspired. Nothing significant, however.
Hey, don't undersell yourself. Knowing you, I'm sure they must have been good. If you remember any, do you think you could let me read them? Is that a no?
No. I mean, no. It isn't a no.
I hate English.
So many were just extempore. As the muses moved, it never even occurred to me to write most of them down, or to save them when I did. If I, recall any poems, hums, I suppose allowing you to read them would be acceptable. But my duties to the hotel come first. I should not allow this to become a distraction.
Well, you can do it during your time off, or if there's a gap in the schedule where we don't need you down in the bedrock. How about that?
Very well. When I am not required for research, instead I'll work on this. That said, I hope you don't intend on giving me time off just to appease this silly diversion, Mr. Josh. If you do, then Kota and Luke will, have to carry my burden.
Look, Luke's been off this entire week, apparently. It's fine. Me giving you time off? I'd never. My job is making you work, isn't it? Is the name of our mission, of course. In the name of our mission, of course. He looks at you, examining your every feature. The jollity and ease of your bearing, the accent in your tone of voice, the signs of assurance of kidding around, the curiosity in your eyes, the crescent of your smile, and the armband too. He sees you.
In the name of our mission.
Okay. They'll probably end the part here, and I will end the part here. So, you can now work on Asterions. I don't. Okay. We're gonna put him to work still. It's fine. But yeah, I will. I'll see you around, everyone.